Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to first departure versus Rattlesnake. You guys are confused. It's early. It's early here in LA. This is a best of 3 series, game number 2, and Rattlesnake is up 1 game. I am Luminous. Here's Aoi, our tactical genius here at the casting table. What do you got for us for game 2?
Well, I think that the biggest thing is that first departure can't lose the early game so hard. I think that if you're going against a Shadow Fiend, a Drill Ranger, and a Meg, those are 3 heroes that are not known for the early game at all. They're actually quite bad early game.
Well, Magnus is not bad. Like, he doesn't
early game, he doesn't really win mid.
Sure.
And usually he loses mid by 10 CS. 10
Okay.
CS at 10 minutes. Right? You see it in 40 CS, 10 minutes. Other hero usually has 50. Shadow Fiend. Okay, Dark
He's
Silver.
not really a hero. Yeah.
He's a big range creep early on.
Yeah.
Like at level 1, he's a range creep.
Yeah.
And Drill Ranger, range creep with a slow.
It's pretty good range creep, though.
Yeah, it's range creep with a slow though.
Okay.
And if you pick something like a Lone Druid, really good early. Darkseer, really good early. You need to make use of those early game heroes. CK West, really good early too. Especially in that sort of situation. Like, not getting those levels off early, it settled the entire game. And one thing that does give me hope for first departure is that if you look at their sort of mid game, late game team fight, even though they were so behind, they still managed to take fights. They still managed to take a racks. And they made things happen that shouldn't have been able to happen. So imagine if they're equal.
Imagine if they're ahead.
Imagine if they're ahead.
Game 3 yesterday.
Based on the lane step, I really do think they should have came on head on that. I think that they had superior lanes in that game. And I don't know, it still just baffles me so much. They placed a ward for mid so that they could see if the aggressive trialing was coming to gank them. And that ward makes it so safe to pull. And then they just didn't pull.
Right.
I hate to harp on it so much, but like 2 pulls would have won them the game, I think.
It's just like small type of missed opportunity. You didn't make the pull mid. I think he smoked or invis up top to set up a gank with Darkseer. Didn't get anything done there. On the bot lane, Rubik was twiddling his thumb. Didn't get any pull because the ward got blocked off and didn't deward it till 3 minutes in. And in a pub game, you'd be like, yeah, I'll deward it 3 minutes in. I pull and slow catch up. In a pro game, they punish you for that. And 3 minutes in, the damage has been done. Shadow Fiend is winning his lane, and Magnus not dying mid has won his lane, and of course, even trade on bot, that means you won the lane there. So even though it's only 3 minutes, it's probably the most kind of game-changing 3 minute for Rattlesnake here in that game 1. So
it pretty much is. And I don't know, Wisp was like level 1 at 3 minutes.
Yeah,
Rubik
he was
what, like level 2?
roaming across the world. So game 2, what we're looking at is basically the same thing. Whether support on the Radiant or on the first departure side could get out of the jungle or get out of the lanes as much as they are designed to do, and how will the support for the for the Rattlesnake team could adjust. It's like so damn confusing. Just me?
Final departure.
First departure,
Rising Stars.
Rattlesnake. Thank you, Ben. All right, we're going to be jumping into game, and I do, again, apologize for all the name mishaps. Trust me, it will continue on throughout the Eastern qualifiers as we're broadcasting by the BTS. Rattlesnake on the Radiant side, they're up 1 game this best of 3 series. 1 more win will let them advance on, of course. First departure, need to fight to stay alive. It's going to be the Wisp and Nyx Assassin ban once again. So despite the fact that Wisp wasn't really the kind of the game-winning factor, it was really annoying hero for them to deal with. Meanwhile, on the other side, it's going to be Bat Rider and Lifestealer, and that means Lone Druid, Magnus, some of these kind of key early game heroes can be picked up here. Let's see what Rattlesnake settles for. What would you pick here if you're Rattlesnake? You kind of understand their playstyle. LD kind of calls it a little bit similar to Dignitas. They're going to go with the Clockwork.
I like that actually a lot. What Clockwork does here is that he's very good against Meg mid. Like, I keep saying that no one has really done it yet, but I think he beats Meg the hardest out of every hero.
Yeah.
Maybe OD beats him harder, but OD is sort of silly in lane that way. So
well, you'll like Tomfu a lot because that's what they run. They run solo mid clock against solo mid mag, and you talked about the laney stage, how he kind of has the edge mid game. Rocket scouts, hook shot, counter initiate.
He's just very good against Meg the entire game. And the thing is about Clock, like when I started to do a draft, I love my first field picks to be very versatile. Like, you pick Clockwork, you have no idea what the other team's gonna do. He can go support, he can go mid, he can go long lane, he can go anywhere. And that's what I really like. And they pick up the Shadow, which is incredibly popular in the Asian scene right now, I guess.
Do you think the popularity is justified? Do you think
Yeah, he's a good support.
Why is he not really picked up in?
Oh, he is picked up in a Western scene too.
Yeah, but not first pick. I mean, it's not-
situationally first pick.
It's not your Nyx assassin. It's not your Rubik. It's not your. Comparing to the other
He's-
supports.
Recently, like Nyx has been picked a lot less though, and Shadowbeam has been picked a lot more. So I don't really want to make that comparison without sort of it stabilizing a bit more.
Mhm.
10 seconds.
I think the playstyle is a tad different too. Like
Sure.
if we look at here, like Gyro,
Team pick.
he's quite good against Shadowbeam, for example, in the mid game, whereas Gyro's not as heavily picked in the
Sure.
Asian team. Whereas he is starting to get picked,
Yeah.
but he's just starting. And this is Darkseer Clockwork Jug. I wonder if they're going to do that Darkseer Clockwork dual lane that we saw.
From last game or 2 games ago
Yeah.
when they did it against Dreams. Yeah, I mean it's definitely a
10
lane that
seconds
on
remaining.
paper you're like, what is actually going on here? But if you try to make a dive
5
against this lane
seconds
and they have their
remaining.
level 2, and that's a critical part. They need level 2, right?
Yeah.
The cogs, the surge, it makes it so
Radiant
difficult
team
for them to get the kills. It just feels like Rattlesnake is building these lanes that are unkillable. Juggernaut,
I think-
whatever initiation you see spins away.
I think now they picked up the Meg. I don't think they'll do the Clockwork Darkseer anymore. I think it'll definitely be a Clockwork mid here.
Uh-huh.
Darkseer, he's still open to going offlane, still open to going jungle. You could even short lane solo him, have the Jug an aggressive try. This is pretty strong. I think Darkseer actually does better against Lone Druid in Darkseer's short lane instead of his long lane, which is sort of weird because against most heroes, Darkseer does a lot better in his long lane just because he can creep skip, he can pull creeps better, he can farm the jungle better. But that's one, because if the Lone Druid plays it well in Darkseer's long lane, I feel like Lone Druid can right click him and pull the creeps around with his bear and just
Dire
completely win the
team
lane.
back.
Okay. Yeah, this is. I've heard many kind of pro player talk about the Darkster Lone Druid matchup. It's actually very complicated. It's not as clear cut as, oh, you creep skip and I
Yeah.
hit creeps. It's definitely really back and forth. But let's quickly jump into the second ban phase. That's both teams trying to exile a couple of support heroes. It's going to be Leshrac and Keeper of Light here for Rattlesnake, Silencer and Rubik here for first departure. And first, Rattlesnake's a team that's not afraid to use the support silence to shut down Magnus, to shut down Batrider, as well as a couple of other heroes. And I'm personally very happy to see a support silencer making a return to the pro scene. He is going to eat a ban here. No kind of real sign of what the carry hero is for the Rattlesnake, and it's hard to actually predict them because one game they go Kunkka, another game they go Shadow Fiend Drow. and,
Kunkka's actually really good for them here.
yeah, Kunkka is
10
great here. I
seconds
mean, we saw them go mid last time. They could actually just stay lane carry. It's
5
getting to a
seconds
part where you
remaining.
have a ton of melee heroes against Magnus and Lone Druid. I'm not too sure whether that's
Reserve
something to
time.
be a little bit of a worry, but for now they're doing okay.
I really like the Rubik ban just because he can steal
team
RP
back.
and he works really well in the Jug aggressive. I don't think, like, the
Radiant
lift is just so
team
good with the spin, just because it moves them into position for spin as well as stunning.
Moves them into those cogs too, so
Yeah.
or keeps them in the cogs, depending how you look at it. We're looking at the second pick phase here. Rattlesnake most likely going to be picking up one more support and perhaps a harder carry. I think Juggernaut's not exactly your heavy duty carry hero unless they want to go really early game. Meanwhile, first departure probably looking for something like an off lane or a carry on
10
their
seconds
safe lane,
remaining.
and then the secondary support.
I mean, Jug is actually surprisingly strong late game if you
5
play him
seconds
as a late game
remaining.
hero. Like you,
So don't go face drum.
well, I
early.
would still go face drums on him,
Mhm.
just because
Reserve time.
he can use that to get kills. Like if you're getting kills, the EXP carries you through towards the late game. Like EXP is so important.
Mhm. Often
And-
underrated.
Yeah, it's so underrated, but you need to get like a battle fear on him then.
Okay.
And regardless, pretty much of most situations, battle fear is just really good on him in this metagame, just because you need to push lanes out really quickly.
Sure. Yeah.
And the cleave is nice. The regen's nice. Damage is decent, so yeah.
Speaking of cleave, we're gonna have Magnus dropping his melee buff on somebody else. Any thoughts on what the actual carry is here for Armageddon first departure? I mean, they don't have to pick another one. I mean, Lone Druid's a fine, sufficient carry. So far, we're gonna see a Weaver
Dire
being picked
team
up.
pick.
All right.
There is not too many really true disables. I guess there is a RP that's really the big thing. I'm not really sure how I'm in love with this hero in this particular situation. It seems okay, but it also seemed like it might not be enough damage.
I think damage-wise, it's not too bad. You have Omni Slash, you have Darkseer's a lot of damage with the double Iron Shell. Weaver's actually decent damage. I think the thing that they lack the most is like some
10
lockdown.
seconds
Mhm.
remaining.
They really just have the clockwork, and vacuum doesn't really count.
Okay.
Yeah,
5
Mason Flower
seconds
Slash, but
remaining.
that doesn't really count either. I'm sort of curious what First Departure is going to go here. I actually, speaking of the Weaver, I
Reserve
wonder if they
time.
picked that Weaver like as a fourth pick just because they thought First Departure was going to pick it. But
So and really punish them even further for the lack of lockdown on
Yeah.
the Radiant side.
yeah, but I don't really know. I don't know if I would have liked Weaver on First Departure either. But it seems like they're taking a long time with their pick here, so maybe they did have Weaver in mind.
Okay.
Usually, if you go, like you take a more than a minute on a pick, it's because their draft confused you.
Yeah. I mean, these are very standard heroes, right? It's Druid, it's
It's-
Mag, it's Shadow Demon.
For First Departure,
Yeah.
for sure. But I think they're trying to figure out like what Rattlesnake's lanes are, because their lanes are they can actually do a lot with their lanes. So they can even put Juggernaut mid over some Meg, with the Clocker as a support. There's a lot of options for them.
So when you're not really sure what they're kind of doing with their lanes, how does that affect your strat? Do you kind of just pick what's good for you and be like, yeah, Jakero's pretty good here as a support, you know, combos my RP, or do you kind of, I mean, go down to 10 seconds and think,
10 seconds
read.
remaining.
Well, I would actually love Jakiro here for them.
no, they're gonna go with
Visage.
Visage, which is a hero that on the back of their day one victory on game 3, Miracle played him really well in terms of initiating, but Shadow Demons
Skywrath.
Dire
is that a
team
support?
It should be a support Skywrath.
There's like literally 5 solo mid.
Yeah,
Rattlesnake.
they can all solo mid, and they can all beat the Meg. Isn't that so sad? Oh, well,
I'm not
Juggernaut,
sure if Weaver
Weaver does quite well
beats
for
him
Snake.
in.
Yeah.
Really?
You
Okay.
sit on his hill, you right click him.
Okay.
You have full rune control. But Skywrath Clockwork is a pretty disgusting combo actually. You hooks on, cog them,
They're dead.
ult them, they're
Well,
just dead.
There
10
is
seconds
Shadow
remaining.
Demon disruption.
There
That's-
is Shouting Disruption, but
5
That's at least a
seconds
concern,
remaining.
right? That's
even if like he has to sort of like wait for the Skywrath Mage out to disrupt them,
5
and Skywrath
seconds
Mage doesn't
remaining.
necessarily need to ult the person in the cogs.
uh-huh.
And if he does ult the person in the cogs, he can just wait for it.
Okay.
So it's Tinker.
Yeah, Tinker's gonna be the final pick here for First Departure. We're in game 2 where First Departure have to win.
Is that it's a Tinker in the trial lane. I'm just not sure if it's aggressive or a defensive. I think it should be a defensive with a Lone Juice Act just because Rattlesnake doesn't really have anything to stop the bear from getting EXP.
Mhm.
If you can get 2 ways and then you go to the jungle, Lone Druid actually farms really well. And you can screw with the supports a lot. Like we talked a lot about what happened with First Departure supports the first game.
Prepare for battle.
Even like if they played a bit better, those supports, they're so crippled. That was like the equivalent of a Lone Druid being there and just blocking their camp and stuff like that. So
Well, we'll exactly see what the final iteration of these lanes are. Again, this draft has been somewhat
Alright.
a non-standard, very
So-
interesting.
they are doing that
Dual,
Darkseer Clockwork dual lane with Juggernaut mid.
yeah, support Clockwork, Juggernaut mid. You could talk a little bit more about the 1v1 matchup between Jug and Mag in a bit. We're going to have Sagan playing the Skywrath Mage as support here. A lot of item being shelled out, very little on his own inventory. Weaver going to be playing by Icy on the bot lane. Luo is going to be playing a solo mid Jug. On the top, it's going to be Kabu on the clock once again, and Lamb on the Darkseer. Meanwhile, on the First Departure side, Polo Song will be playing Tinker.
30
Miracle on
seconds
the
to
support
battle.
Visage. Back mid, it's going to be scripted. Normally playing the 1 row, it's going to be on solo Magnus, Hana, Long Lane Lone Druid, and where's the last player? It's going to be Lubby playing the support Shadow Demon.
And I think what's really important here is that First Departure can kill that dual lane. Very easy. If they pull properly, they can definitely kill that dual lane. You get the disrupt off, you get the march set up, and you laser them. And with the Visage Soul Assumption and Grave Chill, it's
battle
going to kill someone.
begins.
Something else that's sort of neat that I really like is actually this dual lane versus Lone Druid. Lone Druid, oh wow, he got a haste. He might actually be able to chase down that bear and kill it. But anyways, Lone Druid he can't lane against the Skywrath Weaver.
Why?
Because the Skywrath, the concussive shot is it's such high range.
Yeah, 1600 cast range for a 40% slow that lasts a decent duration. It's pretty insane.
And-
That bear, by the way, it's just getting mauled upon. right
And
now.
Weaver does really good damage too. So they don't manage to kill the bear, which actually I sort of expected. I don't really know what I was thinking. So Lone Druid manages to pull his first wave, but that bear is really low. If the Skywrath just pulls right away at 45 and then tangles through to the trees, I think that the bottom lane will sort of be really hard for Lone Druid. As long as they keep that weight back, it's going to be hard for Lone Druid.
Like you said, poor 45. We'll see if he's going to be tank lane through. I'll quickly get your opinion here on the mid lane for the Juggernaut matchup versus Magnus. You talk about how every one of these heroes will be Juggernaut. I feel like perhaps Magnus could get a point into power and just out damage him, or if he wants to go for a little bit more,
Well,
kind of more defensive play, Skewer's not bad.
can't really get the empower at level 1 because the Jug will just spin the wave,
Okay.
hurt you there. And it's honestly sort of a neutral farm lane. Like Juggernaut's gonna spin the wave, you're gonna shockwave it. I like it for Juggernaut because he has that healing ward though, and with Bottle Coin, the shockwave doesn't really matter too much. But Meg, that definitely is probably the best matchup for Meg out of those other 4 heroes. I
Yeah,
think.
it's just it's an even matchup, and I feel like Magnus could slowly maybe even outfarm Juggernaut, and maybe even have better move control, depending on how aggressive he wants to
Radiant's
use the
top
spin. So
tower
let's not
is
talk
under
too
attack.
much about that lane. You talk about how Rattlesnake could die on this top lane if if First of Archer could get the level 2. They do have that level 2 right now, and they could basically make that go whenever somebody out of position. The one thing that I guess the Radiant can do is that if your Clockwork, for example, gets caught out, you just surge him out. Like, there's actually really no way to stop that.
The Radiant actually played that very smartly. They sort of did like a similar thing that we saw a bit back when you had dual lanes with Broodmother in the long lane, where you would have the Broodmother hit. Oh, I missed that. I'm so sorry. And you would let the Broodmother hit level 2 by getting solo XP, while your support sort of just keeps them away from the Broodmother. And they let the Darkseer at level 2 just because that surge is going to be so important. And Clockwork even got Rocket Flare first, so just in case could scout out, I guess. And they're managing to pull the side, which is quite good too.
Yeah, they're getting some decent amount of EXP. You do see Tinker
under
coming
attack.
around here to clear things up. But the fact that they are got the first blood on the bot lane, that's a big thing. Something that we somewhat didn't really expect, but you called it out. Concussive shot for the first blood, and then Ancient Seal for the little bit of damage increase and whatnot. So nice start here for Rising Star. Again, up 1 game in this best of 3 series.
And honestly, I feel like Lone Druid, it's time to. Oh, he's just gonna die.
Yeah,
again.
he's gonna die a second time here. Swarm
Yeah.
being put to good use early on. We don't generally see this early usage of Swarm.
He was microing his bear, I think. He sort of just tanked it, which that can't happen, I think.
So now that you die twice on the bot lane and your bear's down for 2 minutes, you actually can't stay in the lane anymore. You can't actually.
I don't
jungle.
even think you could stay in the lane with the second bear there when he died once. I think he should have just went to the jungle. It's not that bad. Like, you buy Quelling Blade on your bear, he does no more damage, so he does extra damage to creeps, and then that's amplified with Quelling Blade. So it's actually it's quicker than you expect, as long as you hit like maybe level 2 or 3 off the lane. Like, the level 1 is really slow, but after that it's not too bad.
Yeah, well, he doesn't even have that option anymore. So
Yeah.
what does he do? Stack Ancients?
Yeah, that's pretty much what he can do. He's gonna stack Ancients for the Tinker.
Well, for his
I mean,
sake.
it's not too bad, just because since they have a Tinker, Lone Druid will really have the space to catch up. And he gets a haste rune, which means that he can go soak up maybe a wave of EXP or something.
Yeah, he'll definitely try his best to do so.
Or he can just set Ancients and... Okay, well, he can beat... You're not coming that big dragon.
I don't think he's killing. He may kill one of those small rock golem, maybe hit 3 off of that, but it's gonna take him a ton of time. The creep living slowly being lost, so maybe he can poke a Zeta on the bot lane, get a little bit of EXP there. Top lane though, kind of back and forth here.
I think he's playing a bit scared for having a haste rune. They don't really have kill potential while he has a haste, but it did just run out. I think he could have gotten a bit more EXP there.
Dire's bottom
Yeah, and
tower
he
is
has to
under
stay very,
attack.
very far back. If he's
Yeah.
within sight range, he might actually just die to a Sakuchi Swarm combo.
Yeah.
Especially if the Swarm's going to be tanking a little bit of tower shots if they're dying.
Concussive shot, if he gets hit by Concussive shot, he pretty much just dies.
Well, not when the Swarm's on CD, so...
Even
Dire's
without
bottom
Swarm, I think
tower
he still
is under
dies.
attack.
Sakuchi does a lot of damage, and Weaver does a lot of damage. Weaver does like a surprising amount of damage just because he has that gem
Dire's
attack.
bottom tower has
Well,
fallen.
Skywrath Mage going to destroy that tier 1 tower up bot. And again, Hannah still not getting in EXP. Almost going to hit level 3 off of that. How's the mid matchup been doing? It's going to be, again, a completely wash. Seems like Juggernaut is actually inching forward in terms of CS. 24 for him and 20 CS here for the Dire. And you and I were talking about how much the supports are getting out for both sides. Let's quickly check out the levels here. We have level 3 on Visage as well as on Shadow Demon.
Dire's bottom tower
Clockwork
is
as a
under
support,
attack.
and I guess Skyrash Mage as a support. Level 3 as well. Neo has been non-stop pulling. He's going to be hitting level 4. He has been a lot more effective in that lane. And Kabu also really constantly in the fights. He's got boots himself first. It's not much, but I feel like the Radiant support's leading by a little bit as well. Everybody on the team already have boots.
Yeah, and that's just because they had that free pull at bottom, whereas the pull at top was sort of contested, and they had 2 heroes using that pull, whereas they were able to get away with a solo hero using that pull. Even so, like the lone druid sort of screwed with that Skywrath. Otherwise, like Skywrath could be level 5 by now.
Yeah, well, he's gonna hit 4 soon after this pull, so let's see. Let's see if he's gonna be a little bit more effective. I mean, if you're playing Skywrath Mage as a support, you still level up Concussive Shroud. Oh no, you don't. Or sorry, I thought you level up Arcane Bolt, but apparently you level up that Ancient Steel.
It's sort of an opinion thing. I like Arcane Bolt just because I like the burst, and I would do it if I have the free pull just because I'm going to get a bit more farm. But honestly, that silence is really strong anyways.
Yeah, I mean, if you're against a Queen of Pain or, for example, a Quap or Puck, then it's like, yeah, man, that's a really good one. But
I think he is against a Meg though, so that's sort of nice.
yeah, I guess that's a big one. Early game, he skewers in, and suddenly, like, you know, that Magnus is like, oh, well, silence for 3-4 seconds, not gonna do anything here. Luo back in the mid lane does have Omni Slash as well. Of course, Phase Boot is up. Drum is most likely going to be next. That bottle going to be securing himself.
He's actually beating Meg pretty handily right here. He's up like 15 CS at 7 minutes. That's really big, actually.
Yeah, you're saying that Magnus should be losing about by 10, 5 CS, you know, 90 or 10 minutes in.
Yeah.
He's losing by that amount right about now. Luo phasing himself back up and he's ready to set up a couple kills. There is no war scouting him up, and there won't be one unless he goes all the way left. That should be a free kill if you don't get Grape Shield.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it should
Surge
be a free
forward
kill.
right now, and
Surge.
he sees Miracle. He can Omni Slash forward to
Radiant's
gain a little bit of
middle
distance.
tower is under attack.
Juking attempt here. Oh, there's Omni Slash.
Oh, there we go.
Unfortunately, the creep wave not taking the last couple bounces for that jump. The Iron Shell gonna seal the deal. And Luo, I think he could just phase back all the way back mid and just get the farm there. But looks like they want to push a little bit here, and they'll get this one for free as well.
And the Visage just continues to pull. And
Dire's top tower
they're
is
taking
under
towers
attack.
with 3 heroes. When
Yeah.
you can take a tower with like 2 or 3 heroes,
Dire's
that you
structures
know
are
you're in a good spot because you're dedicating so few resources to gain so much map control.
Yeah, unfortunately, they're, for at least first departure, they're not really doing anything on the other
Dire's
sides of the
top
map.
tower has
Magnus
fallen.
trying his best to pressure that tier 1 tower in the mid, but by the time that he's going to get to the tower a second time, Luo's back again. So his venture up top has been extremely productive and extremely good for the team. Up to about 5,000 gold lead off a tier 1 tower destruction, as well as 3 kill. Polo Song will be trying to play a little bit catch up here with the Arcane Boots, or excuse me, Boots Travel already finished, as well as farming and the Ancient stacks.
It's sort of cool how you can just Iron Shell the Jug, and then he spins, and then he's doing 230 DPS or something stupid.
Jesus. Yeah.
So, well, not yeah. And also, I'm pretty Iron Shell hits during Omni Slash as well. So there's some pretty nice synergy there.
Well, we saw a little bit of early game synergy. Let's see if they're going to be doing a little bit more to the mid lane. Scripted, going to be looking for the Blink Dagger. Now, there is one thing, you know, you talked about how Magnus is not really getting as much farm as Luo. I feel like the Blink Dagger on Magnus, kind of the most important item for the entire game, or at least for his team. Blink Dagger, or excuse me, 2k go on Luo might not really mean as much. I mean,
Ooh.
you could pick up a Yasha or something. But
He just so captured the dodge and nuked that Darkseid. He just popped. They had to RP him though, which isn't too bad. And Weaver's getting a solo kill here.
yeah, or another solo kill on Hannah. The Bug's going to get picked off here. Script is trying his best to maybe fake an RP, threaten RP, but Icy's like, yeah, I'll go for that solo kill. Medallion Courage here being picked up here.
I mean,
for
Tinker
Icy.
does have his Boots of Travels, but it's just the Boots of Travels. And I don't know, I always feel like if I farm the Tinker short lane, like nothing really happens in the mid game because Tinker needs to farm another item, which I don't really like. I like your short lane to be able to do something other than just defend.
I mean,
Oh, this is cute. You look at Shadow Demon. He's gonna get a double stack here for the Tinker. Did you get it? Did you get?
he uses his poison. He stacked with his actual hero over here, and then uses poison to draw the creep aggro for
And
me.
then he didn't
Yeah.
get either of the stacks. Well, it was a really cool idea. And
Actually,
they countered
there-
the ward.
I'm not sure if you care for this, but has been a level 1 jungle video from Shadow Demon.
Yeah?
Basically using that exact tactic, stack 2 camps at once, and blow them all
Oh,
up.
that's
But
pretty cool.
something to look at here for the players
Yeah.
at home.
My team's gonna do that now. 100%.
And it's
We have
extremely,
those
extremely easily
cheesy
counterable.
pocket strat. No.
No? Alright, well, we'll wait for the AoE addition back in the mid lane here as that Max silenced and got blown the hell up. No skill.
He didn't
for
even
you.
need to use his ulti on Skywrath, which is really good because they can kill this next person. Oh, not a Tinker, but
Well, they'll try. They'll definitely try. They have healing ward as well if they really want to sustain this push. It's going to be back up.
here's
in a
what's
couple
sort of nice for Rattlesnake though. That healing ward it's going to sort of counteract March. They're actually going to be able to push into March.
Well, it's not real. What? You can. It just it still will hurt.
It does hurt, but it's at least you can take a tower.
Well, Kabu is going to be on the run. What is his level? He's level 6. So, again, mandatory level check here for the support here. 5-5 on the Radiant support here. Polos on the mid lane here. Spin. Look at the magical damage. Looks like, oh, the ultimate's going to get missed as well. Polos with reach travel is going to run straight out. Phase boost not enough to keep up here. It looks like Tinker was even able to get a kill with the Marching Machine as well as a rocket usage. Good job here by Polos surviving that dive.
That was a really good move by the Tinker there. Actually sort of questionable by the Radiant to dive that like that. Well, it wasn't too bad, but you have to execute if you die something like that. You can't miss a Skywrath.
Yeah, and
So but it happens, you know. Like it's actually not the easiest spell to hit. But I feel like if he had just clicked directly on him, he got greedy. He tried to go for like the extra damage, and Clockwork hooks into him.
yeah. Oh, actually, Marigold might be, or Kabu might be dead to actually the birds and the Tinker himself.
Is he gonna live?
Oh, I don't know. A Shockwave is gonna bring him down.
The Visage lived though.
Yeah, really clutch disruption here coming out from
They blew wall, and he just lived.
Wait, actually, shouldn't he respawn to on top of a wall illusion and die, or did the illusion already happen?
I think when he popped out the disruption, he was off to the side a bit, so he didn't get another wall illusion created off him.
Well,
I want to just say one thing: that Lone Druid is level 5. If he had jungled, he would be level 8 right now.
yeah. Why hasn't he jungle?
I
Is this
like-
trying to protect your tower, make sure they
Dire's middle
don't push as
tower
fast?
has been
I don't know.
denied.
It could be because they think that, hey, we need the Tinker to take the entire jungle, but it's Lone Druid. Like it's Lone Druid. You need to give him farm.
And he could easily get farm.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not having the
Like,
tough lane that he
he's
has.
not getting any, like, he's staying down there. Sure, he gets some EXP. Actually, he's not even really staying in EXP range versus solo Weaver. Like, that's the thing. It's not even like Rattlesnake is dedicating a lot of resources to shutting down Lone Druid. They're just 1v1ing him. The Weaver's free farming, and then Lone Druid's, he has 10 CS at 13 minutes. Like, that's pretty low, and he has 3 deaths. Like, he's not in a good spot. Is he going Midas?
I mean, we kind of have had this discussion before. Midas as a, sort of a catch-up item. I mean, if you're this down and you're not gonna have early game armlet, is Midas first an actual good item?
I don't think it is, but
Okay.
I know some people do have that opinion. I feel like I don't like playing like a farming catch-up game. I think that if you're behind and you're going for a farm game, it's just a losing proposition. And Tinker goes down to the Iron Shell Rocket Clockwork there.
Yeah, you were kind of making that comparison last game where, or maybe even on the game before on the analyst table, that if you're down behind and you're trying to farm your way back, they will just out-farm you. Being a little bit more efficient by farming the jungle, you have to play a little bit more defensively, so you're not farming the best spots. So it's definitely tough. Merlini is lying on the ground, so I got a little bit.
He's gonna fall asleep.
Back in the mid lane here, looks like they have found the target. Clockwork Cooker, do you drop that big Mystic Flare? No Mystic Flare, Kabu might be a little bit trouble. He's gonna walk out, Silence still on top. RP's gonna be dropped, skewer backward through the wall. Scripted is gonna be in huge trouble. Scripted is gonna die to your Earn Charge. Back in the mid lane, looks like we're teleport back in. Lulu has picked up a skill. Everybody's still alive. Lamb's gonna be dropping low. He's gonna be okay. And looks like Sagam is gonna be fine there as well.
That was so
That was
well played by
RP
Rattlesnake.
being-
Holy crap! Look at their HPs.
Yeah.
They had 3 heroes under 100 HP.
Was there no March coming out from Tinker? Did he die? I didn't see where he was in team fight. If there was a March, he gets himself like a triple.
Yeah.
Or he helps his team get a triple.
Or if Lone Druid was level 8 and was just there in the fight. So,
yeah, I mean, normally in that fight, you're generally like, oh, our Weaver's not here. You push down tower. And Lone Druid, I haven't seen him in the fight, right? He
Yeah.
wasn't there, but he wasn't farming.
well, he was. It's just that when he's against a Weaver, so he doesn't farm anything.
Yeah, so
It's actually probably really depressing for him right now.
I mean, why don't you just abandon lane and go jungle? Like you were saying, you were asking that question 2, 3, or maybe 4 or 5 minutes ago now.
I mean, it is a judgment call, and sometimes calls are just hard to make. Because, like, we can see the entire game with full vision, which I guess is... But, is it, like... I don't want to blame, like, inexperience or something at this point, but... that's really what it seems like to me. Like, you have to know that you're not getting anything down here. Like, when your CS was lower than the minutes, and it's not, like, 1 minute, it's, like, 10 minutes at that point. Like, there's something going on. And, like, Lone Druid isn't, like, a farm independent hero, and he is going for an armlet, which I do like. I think he still needs boots and Orb of Venom on his bear, but maybe he's thinking that since he's against a Weaver, the Orb of Venom won't do that much, the boots won't really do that much either.
Yeah, I don't think it will. I mean, in terms of at least offensively from the Orb of Venom, it might not be really a good choice. Lu has been kind of grabbing every single rune, and he's gone for an item choice that I personally love quite a bit, Shadow Blade. And it looks like he's going to be utilizing it a little bit, maybe too prematurely. Those Sentry Wards, yeah, those Sentry Wards are an FD. He's looking for a crit out of a Shadow Blade hit, and Omni Slash for basically the easiest kill. Fortunately, not really finding those lone target.
Shadow Blade's sort of nice just because in a little bit he's going to be able to one-shot the Visage Birds as well, which is always a bonus. Those Visage Birds are really, really important in the game. Tinker does pick up a Blink, which means that it's going to be really hard to kill them. Like, you have to basically get a blind vacuum off, or, I mean, Clockwork makes it a lot better just because you can rock it, and then possibly get a hook, but it's still pretty hard to kill a Tinker.
Back in the mid lane here, Blink Skewer action
And
here
bottom.
against Icy. Gonna time-lapse out of there, but not gonna have enough time-lapse to survive against a second ganking party. So, I mean...
That's a huge kill.
It was, because now your Lone Druid gets farmed. Of course, the Icy was farming a ton. Of course, looks like they're going to chase a little bit more for Luo. Blink Skewer should be down in a couple of seconds. They're not going to chase for it. I don't think you can sneak a Roche. And it looks like they haven't really thought about sneaking a Roche. They just want to get farm on Hana, and now he has a little bit of room to do so.
And the Visage actually has a gem. So that's how they're to kill that Weaver so well. And that gem is... I don't know, I really like gem as an item. If you stay alive with gem, it wins you games. But then, of course, if you lose gem, it sort of loses your game.
Then they get
It's
a
like
free
a
gem.
mini rapier, right?
Because Rapier never loses any games.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but I do want to make this comparison of the Magnus picking up the Blink Dagger. Not exactly the Earth's Blink of all time, but still a good enough time. Unfortunately, if you look at the goal comparison of Juggernaut as well as the Magnus, is that Juggernaut's up by like 2,000 gold. So
I mean, it sort of towers too as well, though. But he does have a really good lead on him.
yeah,
And he's did like 3-0 versus 2-2 for the solo mids. The Jug had a really good impact. I'm not quite sure about the Shadow Blade pickup. I don't really know if he has the mana to use it, but he does have Arcanes on 2 heroes already. So it's not too bad if they're planning to push. Shadow Blade is pretty decent for DPS in general. And he can definitely get solo kills with it, I feel, this game. Like, in order for the Lone Druid to catch up, he sort of has to solo farm, and a Jug can actually kill him.
maybe he's gonna go for that point booster, that
Or the Aghanim Scepter.
Rattlesnake special on the semi carries. Go point booster into like, oh, acceptor.
Well,
It's actually
it's better than on Gyro, because like
Sure.
it's actually I actually really like on Juggernaut. It lowers the CD, which is really important, and it's actually pretty silly how high the damage on Ollie Slash is.
yeah, he's jump, and like
Yeah.
you're
Like,
thinking when
it
does
feels
he
like he never stops jumping.
exactly.
But like,
Looks like we have a little bit of rotation.
RP.
RP's gonna be only on Sag, and
Ooh.
they are gonna bring him down. But Polson being trapped out here, Wall gonna drop on top, and Kabu's gonna, I think, survive through. As I say that, he's gonna get burst down really low, get Surge, gonna be using himself. Maybe Clock will cook. No, he's been using that already. It's a 2-for-1 trade, fading out a ton of ultimates. I think FD could. Oh, what? Did it crit him when he died in base? Biggest crit of all time?
that Shadow Demon is squishy, I guess.
I
What
guess
is he,
so. Like he was
700,
at half HP when sleeping out.
800 HP.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure what happened. I mean, he died in the jungle still, so I think they still got the AoE gold and EXP from that on the other heroes. So he died before. I don't know what happened actually.
Well, Rattlesnake's gonna be looking to pressure
And I was gonna say, even if they lose Clockwork and Skywrath just for the Tinker, it's not even that bad a trade too. But they picked the Shadow Demon, which made it definitely worthwhile.
how do you push against Marching Machine, even with the healing ward, even with the mech? That is a question that remains to be answered, at least for this game, because I feel like unless you pick off the Tinker, which is a really good thing to do, he will just do this all lane.
Well, I mean, they do have a sort of a lineup who can push against a Tinker. Just because they have that Weaver, they have that Darkseer, that means 2 lanes are pushed in, you have 3 heroes going to a different lane. As long as you don't get picked off, you can sort of split push it against the Tinker. I mean, March is really, really strong, but it can't defend 3 lanes.
I mean, he could be at 3 lanes unless they all push in at the same time.
Yeah, but, I mean, they pretty much are pushing in at the same time if you have a Weaver, Darkseer, and the 3 other heroes going for another lane. And he also has to be sort of scared of the Clockwork. As long as the Clockwork, like it's 3 heroes pushing in, but the Clockwork can sort of stay out of vision, so the Tinker doesn't know if he can TP in or not. So that's not too bad. And the ward vision is... Do they even have any wards for the Dire?
No, I mean, you talked about that early gem, right?
Here's one ward.
I
But
mean-
the gem was on the Dire side. Did Radiant also get one?
Oh, no. Miracle has been actually holding on to that one. Yeah, I'm surprised by the lack of wards from both sides, really.
Well,
there is
it,
one
it's
on
sort
the
of understandable from the Radiant just because they have that ancient blocking ward countered, and they do have a
RV.
gem.
Blink used on the mid lane here. They're going to skewer him backward. The sun's got to be there. The Purge already used, but he's going to go into Invis. Don't really care about it, as they are going to have detection on Miracle and right click and do. I feel like maybe this is the time you say, alright, they use a ton spell mid lane. Let's for a couple points of damage on top, but there's a bear waiting for him. So they're going to turn back and instead look to defend their own towers.
This isn't looking that bad for first departure, to be honest, right now. Their lone druid needs to have a bit more farm than this. Like, he needs to catch up somehow, and he sort of can just because they have a Meg who can make it, like, empower the bear to make him farm really fast. But, like, as long as, if that Tinker gets a Hex and another item, it'll be okay.
Wow. So 10,000 gold later for Tinker.
If the Tinker farms 10,000 gold and the Meg gets like a BKB, they
Okay.
can actually fight them. I still think that I would give Rattlesnake the advantage still. They can exert so much map control.
And they're doing just that. Making sure that they have a ton of
I-
vision.
If you see here, like the Weaver's just gonna stay bottom.
Speaking of Weaver, he's been sitting on this relic for a long time. Straight up Radiance build.
Ooh, he went Radiance. Do you think that's just to stop the blink on Tinker?
I mean, there's a blink on Magnus too, but I feel like he is gonna, regardless, get his blink off, especially
Yeah.
once he realizes that there's a Tinker on the map or Radiance on the map. He's gonna play basically very far back and according to plan.
I actually really don't like this Radiance on Weaver. Radiance is like a farming item, sort of. It's not that good for split pushing, whereas like a Manta, like drums into Manta or like even a Lincoln's would. Well, Lincoln's doesn't really block anything, and mid.
Yeah, Juggernaut's gonna be on the back line, infiltrating away. They're gonna get a kill. Tinker, or sorry, Visage has dropped the kill. Oh, Blink
Oh,
RP's gonna be
RP.
on mid lane. Skewered backwards.
Into the
Tower
march.
has been denied as well. They're gonna kill Sagam immediately. Juggernaut's dead as well. Big team fight claim here, victory for FD. So
That was actually huge for them. The skew into March just does so much damage, and I wonder if Weaver will cut his tower and go for. No, he doesn't go for more.
is there a time where you say, all right, we just got 3 kill on the mid lane, let's go into Roche, but suddenly everybody's kind of fanned out to do other stuff. They're farming bot, they're farming
Well,
top.
The lanes are a bit pushed in, I think, but they do have a Tinker. They could go for that Roshan actually. They do have a gem, so they can like check if they have wards. I think they're feeling like after taking that fight, they don't need to take a risk like that because they just denied the tower and got 3 kills. So,
Yeah, well, seems like a very, very slow game here. 12-10 in the favor of Rattlesnake. This is game 2 for anybody just joining us. Rattlesnake up 1 game in this best of 3 series. FD have to win this game to survive and send it to game 3. But there's some big items coming out here from the Radiant side. Radiance just finished here from Rattlesnake. We have a mech and a hood up on Lamb. Battle Fury almost done on Luo as he's going back for some sort of carry build. I guess it seems like Rattlesnake very confident in terms of the late game. Tinker is a very annoying kill to deal with. Lone Druid, last game we saw how powerful he is at late. And same thing with Magnus. So, not sure this is a lineup you want to just comfortably go late versus late against. I think you need to be finishing those that top tier 2 and maybe start slow sieging.
yeah, I would really like them to see them split push that, like 4 heroes top, Weaver bottom or something like that, and then once you get that tier 2, as long as you keep the lanes push, you can actually go for a Roshan. You can like have 2 heroes do it, or even just Weaver solo with the healing ward, which means that it's very hard to contest. They have the medallion array set up for it, but they're just gonna 5-man this top tower, which is also a good option. As long as they get vision up, the Tinker can't really TP in, and it's going to be pretty hard for them to defend just because they're. I feel like the Dire's a bit out of position here.
They got a couple down, they got a couple mid, and
Under attack.
a couple in front of tower. Smoke looks like they want to take a fight right now, just with Magnus. I mean, where's that Tinker? Tinker
Dire's structures
should be
are
teleporting very
fortified.
soon.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, this is I'm gonna keep my eyes on carpet.
And here's the
Jumping in,
RP.
RP, only gonna get Luo. Can you actually bring him down? He's probably
The
gonna
Omni
spin
Slash,
and
oh.
go on the other side. Physical right click. He
Wow.
goes into Invis mode. Shockwave can't hit. No, they're gonna be fine here. Mystic Flare is gonna drop a kill here against one. Wall gonna get dropped as well. Uh-oh, Luo's low. Should be fine.
That was such a weird fight. Like, I thought Jug was gonna die, so he should have used Omni Slasher, so I was gonna think like, oh, this one's a mistake. And then he just spun away and the Flash was running up from bottom. Like, he ran all the way from, you see this, like, the bottom ward here? Like, he placed that and he ran top. He just wasn't there for the fight in time. And they wasted wall too, so it's not that bad. They did lose RP for it, but, yeah.
Well, Omni Slash is gonna be used here against the
Ooh.
RP Magnus. BKB didn't help out there, and hitting Magnus
Oh.
really will allow you to push very safely.
Do you
as-
ever feel bad for a hero like Lone Druid in this situation?
Why is that?
Dire's top
Look
tower
at him.
has
He,
fallen.
he is like above the tower trying to defend it and he just got caught there. Like he had no TP, he couldn't run away.
Well, I mean, probably not exactly the smartest pushing location out there. Polosun's gonna slow down this push. Where's the healing ward? Actually,
Whoa.
he just
He
ate like
was
a
really
billion
low.
nukes to the face. Yeah, he dropped healing ward and looks like they're gonna keep on pushing. The birds are slowing everybody down. It looks like they're gonna drive them back. It seems like in
This is a Roshan opportunity right here.
if they
But
TP it back or just go straight into the Roche.
I think they could just go straight into the Roche at this point. They have that healing ward coming up in 20 seconds, which will be before the Lone Druid's there. They potentially could have the vision up to do it. But I guess they just want to play the safe. It's a bit better if you can push bottom out perhaps
well,
past like the tier 2.
Uh-huh. It's just going to be very hard for them to kind of utilize map control as effectively as they normally do, considering that Tinker is on the map and constantly kind of making sure that your crew wave is pushing towards you. So it's very hard to get that map control, like you're saying.
And Visage picks up a Ghost Scepter, which is sort of nice from this game. It's gonna cancel Omni Slash if Doug makes a mistake of casting it on him.
I mean, it's going to get tough here for the Omni Knight, or not Omni Knight, Juggernaut to find these kind of melee kills, considering the fact that there's Disruption being picked up so often, and now there's a Disruptor as a quote-unquote answer.
I really like how Tinker's just farming the Ancients here, just because he knows that he needs to give like his Lone Druid and his Meg some space. I see far too often that Tinker's just continuously TP2 lanes,
Mm-hmm.
and they take all the farm on the map. And that means that sure you get like say 10% more farm just by farming the lane instead of farming Ancients, but you take so much farm away from your allies. And Juggernaut actually chose to go Battlefield after his Lothars, which I'm not sure on. I think that he should have actually just got into Battlefield right away and gone on drones with it.
Yeah,
But
I mean, he's definitely going for that carry build.
yeah,
Um,
it's not that bad. It's just that he doesn't even have mana for his spells right now, and Tinker gets picked off, which is really big.
Yeah, his mana pool was fine until Omni Slash got level up, and now it's costing 350. So maybe he didn't take into account that. But the Shadow Blade has actually allowed him to find the Magnus a couple of times. At least pick on him early, preventing that RP to come in. So it's still an,
And
I
here's
guess,
the
an okay
Roshan.
choice. So yeah, it is going to be the Roshan fight. Tinker's dead for 31 seconds. There is RP. And the birds are coming in to check things out, so they do know Roshan is happening right now. They're going to be dropping some stunts. Nothing just yet. Gemini attack's going to prick one, but here comes Magnus. Blink RP, that's going to be onto 2. BKB skewered now up to the high ground, but where's the damage? Mech going to get used, vacuum used, but the rest of the team not doing too much. That's one kill. Where's the Omnislash jump? It looks like Juggernaut just ended his Omnislash being trapped in. He's going to be looking for Hannah. Hannah's on the run. Icy's on the run as well. Got Grave Chill. Or excuse me, Sakuchi. Slowing people down. Miracle going to get focused as well. And they back off.
And that was a really good fight for Rattlesnake there. What happened was, like, if you watch the Tinker, he sort of blinked into a pit, and he got silenced by the Scarrath. He ran around the circle, and Roshan bashed him. He just died. That was sort of depressing for him, I guess. And they can just finish Rosh here. Tinker even had to use his buyback. He's so far from a Hex now. He was like 800 gold from it, or maybe even less before he died the first time, and now he's like 2.2k gold away.
Yeah, that buyback. I mean, had to do it, but it was very, very expensive.
I think the buyback was also a little late. You noted that when they RP'd 3 of them, dragged out to high ground, there's no damage.
Yeah.
If there's perhaps like 2 marches there, maybe the fight goes better. I actually don't even know if they would have taken that fight, even if he had skewered him into 2 marches. But marches are sort of imba, so.
March it, of course, does composite damage, both magical and physical. It can't block their PKP. Just
It
it hurts so much.
I think it's just magical damage, actually.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Or
Don't you hit BKB units?
it does hit BKB, but I think it's like. Pretty sure just. Does
Well,
magical.
we'll do our Dota Trivia Pursuit version a little bit later on and see which one is correct. But right now,
It's like,
Rattlesnake trying to get firm control in the game. They're up by 12,000 gold, but from the item progression, from the way that things are working out, it doesn't seem like it's a 12,000 gold. Like, they're winning fights, but these fights are kind of back and forth, I feel like.
Yeah. They definitely still have the advantage. If you look at the map right now, like, it doesn't even matter that they don't have wards up just because the creep wave is pushing in.
Mm-hmm.
If, like, creep waves are like the better version of the wards, honestly. Keep lanes push at this point. Because if your creeps are hitting their tower and they're not TPing to defend and they're not farming it, that means they're out doing something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a, sort of, it's almost a for sure thing. Because that's a lot of farm they're wasting. Whereas a ward, they can sort of smoke by it and stuff like that.
Well, Rattlesnake just being very patient, waiting on high ground. They just want a single pick. I can feel it. If they could find a very key pick, like on the Tinker, on the Magnus, could be easy kills, and that could be a Rex. But they're having a very, very tough time to break the base, and it's tough. It's tough, kind of against marches, against kind of all the site over the place. How do you actually break this base? You just
Get 5 blade mails and run into March.
that's pretty. Well, there's one on Clockwork, right? I mean, blade mail number 1.
Blade mail number
But
1.
here's the thing, though. Like, there's a constant amount of defense. If you look at the goal graph, it's gonna be rising, and it will continuously rise until something happens.
They do have a mech and a pipe, which means that they can attempt it. It's just that
They don't need to.
they don't need. Yeah, you're right. They don't need to attempt at all. Like, Weaver has a heart now. If he gets 1 more damage at him, he can basically just keep running in at the tower, and then he does some damage and he runs away, and
Yeah.
they can't touch him. If he RPs him, then his team should be pressuring on our lane and get racks. And if they burst him down super quickly, he can even do like a buyback into time lapse and get back and fight, but that's sort of clowny. And he has
Next
Aegis,
level.
so they can't even RP him twice, so they can't really kill him twice right now.
Yeah, and Rising Star says did I call him the Rising Star? Rattlesnake says, yeah, we don't need to kind of do anything special. We'll just starve you. We're farming.
And
our
it's
jungle.
very smart how they're farming. They're putting like 3 people between mid and top, and then the Jug's just running around his jungle, because that's just a lot of extra farm. The Weaver's even farming the Ancients. They're farming like, how much gold is that extra? Like 1,000 extra GPM?
per minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, every time I look at the gold chart, it's actually going up higher and higher and higher. It's Juggernaut going for some Scotty. He's got double old dwarfs. He's got some. He's basically got it if that's what he wants right now. I'm not pretty sure.
You
if
might
he's-
as well just get like a Blade Mail and a Heart or something. Or you get Blade Mail and a Ghost Scepter and you run into March. And a Mask of Madness.
I mean, you talked about buyback into time lapses, clowny.
Okay.
The item bill you said was maybe.
I just want to see. I just really want to see a Tinker die to like 5 Blade Mails at least once.
Well, maybe this is a game because we're in a kind of a slow stage, and of course, there's no reason for FT to give it up, even if they're farming themselves into
Tinker's
disadvantage.
TPing towards top here. They might actually go for a pick here.
Oh no, the Blink Dagger coming out from Stag. They're looking for that pick off here.
Oh.
Clockwork Cook missing that big time. The Fog not really got Paulson just walking straight left. And he's going to be fine. That the rare
Oh,
time that he
no.
canceled that Blink Dagger, he's going to be fine. I mean, Tinker, can he make these kind of aggressive play? Like, he didn't die there, but that was very lucky, I guess.
That would have been game if he had got picked off there. He had already used his buyback, and it would have delayed his hex so much. So that was definitely risky.
No, he has buyback ready.
Oh really?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
It's been a while.
It's been like 18 minutes since someone died.
Yeah. Has it really been?
I don't know.
Quickly check. You can check this. It's definitely been like a
Dire's structures are fortified.
while.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. Can we
Look.
get some BTS stats on that? When's the last kill? I don't know, guys. I see slowly working on some creeps on the bot lane.
This is like the sort of proper style Dota though. Like they're being very methodical, and I think if I was in their situation, I'd do the same, because this is like the biggest thing the biggest tournament basically that
Mhm.
you're going to play, other than of course what you're trying to qualify for.
I mean, there's some teams where you say, all right, guys, we got the Aegis. It's running out in a minute or so. Let's just go, right? Let's use our Aegis.
Yeah, I really would have liked them to at least attempt to do something with the Aegis, at least get some damage on the tower with the Weaver. Like, that's still a full HP tower mid, full HP tower top. And they had the Aegis for a full 6 minutes.
Uh-oh. Tinker is going to be on the left side here. He's going to blink back out. I mean, Tinker could safely leave the base. He, at this point here, has enough gold almost to buy his Scythe of Ice. Obviously, there's no buyback. And he could basically be pushing out multiple lanes by himself. It's just, I don't know, not against a Bling Dagger Skyrock Mage, not against a Clockwork Rocket Flare as well as Hookshot. Is it impossible for FD to win? What are they looking for? Are they looking for a Blink Skewer for a single pickoff?
It's
the map
it's
is
definitely
open?
not impossible, just because you have that Meg Lone Druid Tinker combo, which is ridiculous AoE in team fights.
Mhm.
But I feel like as the game goes on, their chances aren't getting any better. Like, they need to hit a timing and find something.
I mean, the timing
Is when like Tinker gets his Hex, I think,
and buyback.
which is and buyback, I guess.
Yeah, you gotta play it safe.
Oh,
By the way,
that's
it's
it.
not a Scotty.
Actually, I don't even know about playing it safe at this point. I think they're pretty far behind that you need to take a risk. You can't wait that long. By the time he gets buyback, like, it's another extra 3-4k gold advantage for the other team. And if they're just buying items and you're behind and you're saving for buyback, you're in a gigantic item deficit.
The thing is, they're buying items and saving for buyback.
Yeah.
And they have all the time in the world to do. So Weaver, by the way, it's going to be shelling out a ton of gold. He's going to be picking up a Manta. Juggernaut is not going for Saudi, or at least not Scotty yet,
What's
as
that?
he's also going for a Manta. And I guess they're going to just pop illusions and slowly siege in, right? That's kind of the
Yeah.
idea.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's free tower damage. You have like pseudo PLs here.
Yeah, and of course, the Aegis has timed out, but they're going to slowly do things. Here comes, again, a
5-man
risk.
smoke.
I don't think
Or
you do
4-man
5-man.
smoke.
Yeah, 4-man smoke. They see
It's-
Hannah pushing up top.
It's basically 5 though.
I mean, I think what you do is you have Hannah defend the base, for example. You have the Tinker push out, TP out, and you smoke the Reed behind him
Yeah.
and go for a pick. I think that's your play.
Like, when the Clockwork and Scarth went for the Tinker at top, if they had 3 heroes behind them there, that would have been really cool. But it's so hard to do something like that because you're basically counting on the other team being overly aggressive, and that doesn't always happen. Like, sometimes they even predict that you're doing something like that. One thing that is decent for first departure is that Lone Druid is finally catching up. He's almost caught up to the Tinker, and even though like Jug and Weaver are so far ahead, I think oh wait, what's Lone Druid? I thought he had 10k for a bit. Did he buy?
Maybe buy something on the courier flying in.
Oh, maybe I just missed all. I think I might have just mixed it with the Meg because
Radiant's
I'm special
middle
right now.
tower is under attack.
You're quite special always.
thank
Ali.
you, thank
Yeah.
you.
I think we're all a little bit special right now. Meanwhile, Birds of Money Bag being fed up here as any guesses on the last Ultimate Orb transition here?
Okay, so they have 2 Mantas. Now Roshan's up in 1 minute. I
Okay.
think that first departure contests Roshan.
Right.
I think that's their fight, I guess. They won't have buyback on Tinker, which is sort of unfortunate for them, but if they get that Aegis with 2 Mantas, it's like it's a lot harder to fight. But who knows? They might even just try to continue to turn it out. It's not that bad of an option. I feel like Lone Druid scales a lot better than Juggernaut and Weaver do. Just because, you know, if they turn out 120-minute game, he has 12 slot items.
Yeah, please.
2 Abyssal Blades. Triple Butterfly.
Can people stop saying that, please? The 12 slot item Lone Druid. Because when the fuck has that ever happened? Has that ever happened to you, Ali?
I got on like 8 slots or something.
Okay, but it wasn't 12.
It's more than 6 slots.
It's more, okay, fair. It's more than 6. Which, by the way, they gotta actually bring back Dagon Crow.
They do.
It's a legitimate item, like a late game choice.
Yeah.
Those anti-mage games,
Those
Man.
PL games.
he needs his he needs his like Korean air squad next to him.
Or like at least like Necrobook 3 couriers, so you can fly them in and backdoor racks with them. That'd be cool. You sell all your items, get 5 Necrobook 3s.
All right, I think when we're talking about necro books coming out from a like a marine drop out of your courier,
That'd be cool.
Yeah, this game is. I guess you know I don't mind a game like this normally, or once in a while. Like at least it's not called OPL. Those are like, oh well, here comes those illusions again. But in any case, again, we're waiting for the Roshan. I already think that's a fight to take. I think FD they don't even take that fight. They're gonna just keep
it
on
looks
saying,
like they're just gonna turn it
yeah,
off.
and they're like, all right, you make us prove that we have the type GG. There is a Scotty finish on Luo. He's gonna get the Aegis. Is there a cheese on top?
To the radiant.
No cheese on top. So let's quickly do a big item check here before this, perhaps the last push. That's gonna be coming your way. Heart Radiance Manta arm medallion here for Icy. We have Pipe Mech here, the kind of big item for Lamb, and of course it's gonna be a Scotty, Manta, Shadow Blade, as well as Battle Fury, and of course a Blink on Sag. Meanwhile, on the other side, Scythe, Blink on Tinker, Blink BKB, and Ghost Scepter on Mag.
Top tower is under
That's
attack.
really kind of the big item. And Miracle has a Ghost Scepter. That doesn't mean anything. These birds are getting some towers.
Oh, Visage is so good.
Oh, okay. He got a tier 1 tower up after whittling the towers for like 3 minutes, I guess.
That's that's support getting a tower solo.
There you go. It's like almost as good as 12 slot Druid.
Yep. Imagine if you could have 12 slots on Visage birds.
In any case, they're not making that push. Do you pop your Manta Illusions like just go?
I mean, I think they should be popping the Mantle Illusion and beating on the tower. And they can just back up for 50 seconds and it's nothing. Nice, Weaver's doing it. He's doing it.
Alright,
Beating
so
on it.
the burning question here for me is why isn't Rising Star going for like, you know, all mid thing?
I mean, it's still really hard to do a 5v5 versus Tinker Meg. But they are getting really good damage on the tower here.
Well, yep.
And
The healing ward is allowing
bottom's
Luo.
dying, top's dying, the bear's dying.
Ooh, there's a Hex on top here against Scripted. Omnislash is going to bring him
Oh.
down. Does he have buyback? Yes, he does. He's going to focus Luo. Hex up down to about half HP. The hook comes through. Everybody will disengage because there's no reason here for the Radiant to commit. Meanwhile, on the bot lane here, I see hit and run tactics will be doing some damage to the tower. They will back off, reset, heal up, wait for cooldowns on all spells and Manta. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Chinese Dota.
I mean, it's a smart choice.
It is smart.
I would have liked to see that Weaver use time lapse when the lone druid was hitting him for 5 seconds, just so that he could have got an extra 300 damage on that tower. But it's not too bad to save, I guess.
Darkster now picks up a Scythe of Ice for himself. Quick buyback check up here for just about everybody on the Dire has it.
And
Of
the
course,
tower
Magnus.
goes down.
Bottom tower has
I mean, the
fallen.
Dire goes down. The Rax. Here's the thing though, the Rax regenerates.
Yeah, it's really slow though. Like what, 5 HP per second on the melee.
Luo gonna get Scythe up on
Oh,
top.
he still has
Ooh,
RP.
Surge.
Oh.
What a juke. What a juke. He's now gonna focus on the range rack. Hey, every Rax you get is still a Rax.
Yeah, if he had hit that skewer there, it could have been really good because Tinker was already refreshing for the next hex. And I think they're going to take 2 sets of Raxes here.
The Bird's coming out to slow this one down, and Rising's or Rattlesnake.
Dire's top tower.
Rattlesnake finally, after 20 minutes of siege, has finally taken 1 Rax. They're looking on the second. You can see Weaver.
There's no bear. I
Yeah,
think they're just going to
Oh, the bear
win.
actually died to the Weaver. It looks like Surge and Luo is back out. This is just so slow, so methodical. They're gonna get the melee racks. Range racks is. There's not gonna be a man fight. I think Merlini is gonna be so sad after he gets back to the Analyst table. It's just like. This is some sick PvE right now. Sagam is actually gonna go down, and Icy is actually not gonna really commit. He's gonna go back, get back out. Mirax is gonna be going down. Luo working on those Raxes.
There's
Those
RP.
Raxes gonna be going down as well. This gotta be the
RP.
fight. Blink Magnus RP. That's gonna be 2. Where's the skewer? No mana is on
Oh.
cooldown. He gets scythed up. Juggernaut just going to town. GG is gonna get called. First departure is gonna be making that final departure in the Eastern Qualifier. Oh my god, what a cock in front of the fountain. And I see he's just going for farm time mode right now. I think a lot of people are hoping for the compendium to go for like 4 Aegis, 4 Gs or whatever for the compendium thing. That didn't even happen. Thank God. It's only 45 minutes. It felt like 45 hours.
That was a very, very methodical game. Like, it's very textbook. They got the items, and if you look at the items they got, it's very smart. They got like tanky items. Like Jug got a Skady and Weaver got a heart, because when you're ahead, you get tank items, so you can continue to build upon your lead. You don't get like sort of risky items.
Glass cannon
Yeah,
stuff.
you don't go glass cannon stuff. You go glass cannon stuff when you're behind, because you need to make up something, come back for the deficit.
Yeah, and it really helped out your Manta Illusions to tank in the front line.
Shoutouts. Okay.
Big shout out to everybody else. And of course, that is a long one. For those of you guys that join us to the finish of Group A, give yourself a big pat in the back. We are all very special right now. I think everybody else is batting in the studio because, oh my god, that one's made us all very special. I think there's not much to analyze. Very smart item choices at the end. Very methodical finish. Use the Aegis smart. Manta split, go in and push.
I forgot what I had to say about the beginning of the game.
Yeah, we'll take
We
this
got
one. Let's
this.
send it back to the analyst table.